Hello and welcome to the Corner Office. This is Season 2, Episode 10. And today my very special guest is Mr. Steve Marino. He is the Vice President of America's IT over at Marriott International. And we're coming to you live from the Chandelier Bar here in beautiful Las Vegas at the Cosmopolitan. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the last episode of Season 2. Thanks, everyone. Well, Steve, welcome to the show. Good to have you,
Steve. Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. It's been a little while. All right. So you've seen my show, of course. What are you drinking today?
Oh, today I'm actually drinking my Hendrick's and Tonic. So this is my drink of choice. And this is with lime. I am not a cucumber guy. So I think Hendrick's and Tonic has been my drink for quite some time. I'm just a big fan of Hendrick's Gin, and it's a great way to end the day.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
How about you?
Me, I'm actually, I tried my hand at an old fashioned. It's something I've not had too often, but it's with a little bit of bullet bourbon. A recent trip to Kentucky actually had me convinced to start drinking a little bit more old fashioned. So,
that's great.
Yeah. So cheers.
Cheers to you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, to a better year.
Oh, indeed. All right. So first, before we get off the going here, is tell me your best dad joke or pun that you've got, Steve.
Dad joke. Oh boy, my kids are young, so they kind of still love these dad jokes. So I'll give you one, and I've done with my son of late. What do you call a paper airplane that does not fly?
What?
Stationary. Much like my son, you got a kick out of that. That's great.
That joke was terrible. Good stuff. All right, so let's of course get into the meat and potatoes of the discussion. You're of course with Marriott, and you've been experiencing COVID from a brand level, and Marriott of course was hard hit, just like every other brand that's out there today. What's your thoughts on the recent pandemic and how it's hit the industry and whatnot?
Probably speak on a personal level first, and then I'll talk maybe about the industry part. And so it's just been really, really difficult. The amount of tragic human loss is just hard, I think, for any of us to fathom and kind of communicate that with our kids and kind of have an understanding of it. It's new territory for all of us, and so I think it's been really difficult to adapt to it. I personally did not think it was going to go on for so long and just be so detrimental, and so it's been a real eye-opening event, and a lot of some positives in that you learned kind of how you deal through adversity, and how do you stay inspired? How do you continue to get people to be motivated to do what they do? And I think that becomes very difficult for all of us. I think on the positive side, I got to spend a lot of time with family. I actually enjoy traveling quite a bit. I think it's the best way to actually see our teams in action. I think I really miss seeing a lot of our folks in both the U.S. and Canada and spending some time with them. We've got a great group of people out there who are doing the best that they can on the front lines to support our hotels, and it would be really nice to just be able to spend some time with them. Zoom is great. Teams is great. It's just not the same as that personal touch. And so it's just been really, really difficult. The positives are there, but I seriously cannot wait to get back out on the road and actually have meetings and conversations with our team. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh, I fully agree. I mean, it's been great to, spend time with family, as you mentioned, but that itch for travel is back, right?
For sure.
In the original of this, I figured, I'll be another 2 weeks, maybe a month, I'll be flying again. Here we are 6 months later, and of course haven't gotten anywhere. So
yes,
it's definitely going to be good when folks start traveling again and start reopening up all those other hotels and get back to work and back to business.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been really difficult. I think we've been through some ups and downs. I've been with Marriott for just a little over 25 years, and that's a long time. And so we've had our own bout of incidents and kind of business downturn between 9/11 and 2008, 2009, but this is very unique from that perspective. And so it's, again, it's new territory for all of us, and it's been really difficult to see the impact on not only us as a society, but also on our hotel workers. It's been incredibly difficult, and that falls all the way down into our IT folks as well. And so our technology folks are impacted. And so I'm really looking forward to putting this in the rearview mirror.
Absolutely. So now, of course, we've got vaccines are being rolled out as we talk about right now. That's starting to hit the masses. Of course, it's slow, but it is coming. Do you have any recommendations for those in the industry? Kind of what are you thinking about to get us back into the flow of things, back into the mix and opening doors and so forth like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've gotten some really good guidance from our CEO on down within our company. We have an incredibly powerful company, and a company that is very rich in its culture. And our culture at the moment has really been about taking care of our associates and taking care of our guests. And so if that means cleanliness and our health is front and center, then that's what we're going to do. And so I think it's about travel will rebound, leisure probably before business, but we need to have our fingers on the pulse of what our guests will want, what our group customers and our business customers will need. And that's what we're really focused on. And right now that's cleanliness. And we need to be leading the industry in that segment. And I think that's incredibly important. And just vaccine or no vaccine, I think it's going to be something that's going to stay with us probably for the foreseeable future, if not for decades, right? Having a front and center view on cleanliness versus 2-3 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think that, regardless of when we are past this, COVID will continue to have an impact on us 5-10 years out for sure. It's so unfortunate, of course, that we've lost so many good people in the hospitality industry that have been out of work or displaced or to health reasons, of course. But it's all hopefully coming back, and hopefully we can learn from this to help prevent the next thing. The only small, very, very small silver lining that I can see in this is that with new faces, of course, all my old jokes become new again. So again, very, very small silver lining in comparison to everything. I'd rather have the old jokes still be around. All right. So where do you see the industry going, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years?
I think from a technology perspective, I think a lot of it is going to be kind of holding pat, kind of staying with what we have and making sure that everything is working to the best of its abilities for our owners and franchisees, et cetera. There's not going to be a whole lot of investment in technology for obvious reasons for the next 12, 24, 36 months. And so I think we as a technology community need to make sure that whatever we can do to sustain the environments that are there and to elongate their useful life as much as we can would go a long way. I think when we're opening up new hotels, we need to be making sure that we're focusing on technologies that allow us to be at the forefront from a cleanliness perspective or a contactless perspective. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of work going on there. I think the biggest impact to us is, we need to make it through this decline in travel. And I think we're starting to see some glimmer of hope from a leisure travel perspective. I think the business travel in and of itself, I think our senior leaders have been very clear that it's going to be several years before that comes back to 2019 levels. And so, from where I sit and from where we are in the overall company, our job is to keep the technology running, allow the technology to keep our position at the top of the brand companies, and to do whatever we can for both our operators and our guests. And so a lot of that has to do with making the most of what we have. We're not going to be in a position of asking for a lot more money or investment at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you folks have to work part and parcel with not only the hoteliers, but also the vendor community. And I can see that it's a delicate line to walk, of course, because you want the best for everybody and yes, moving that technology yardstick still forward for the guest. But at the same time, understanding that there's budgets that are impacted, that have been impacted by COVID and so forth. So,
absolutely, it's been really difficult to actually, to your point about losing good people. It's been difficult to lose a lot of good people within Marriott itself and within our community. Mm-hmm. And then it's also just as difficult, I think, to see a lot of our partners who haven't made it through. And staff, because we work, as you well know, really closely with our partners on a day-to-day basis. And we've had some losses in that community as well. And that's just as difficult, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be kind of almost definitely an altered ecosystem, I guess, when we get back. But yeah, tell us a little bit about, your current role within Marriott, if you could.
Of course. I'll talk about the role I currently have post-COVID, post-pandemic in our new organization. And so currently I have responsibility for our field IT organization, both in the U.S. and Canada. We support just shy of 950 hotels across the U.S. and Canada. So think about the frontline IT field community that's out there in market. I've got an above property team who does a lot of coordination with our corporate programs and projects that go out to the markets. And then I've also got a team that's basically providing central services. And that team is doing a lot of the work that we were doing in individual markets. And what we're doing now is we aggregate that work. It came out as a result of having to do more with less through the pandemic. And so we've stood up this central services organization, which I think is going to be fundamental to our success. Rather than doing things, maybe rinse and repeat in several different markets, we're going to do it once and we're going to deploy it more from an above property perspective out to the hotels. And so our in-market community, I think, is going to benefit greatly from it. They're going to be able to focus on a lot more value add. And so I think it's a win-win across the board.
What brought you to the role that you're in now based on those 25 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. I started out really kind of hands-on keyboard in technology, behind the scenes, think data center, systems engineering and the like, and did that for just about 12 years. And then I had the opportunity to work for Page Petrie. Page. Page is somewhat of a legend in the industry. And so I had the opportunity to work for Page in 2008 and was able to get out in the market and understand hospitality rather than just technology that supports it. And so I was able to take a lot of that background infrastructure, training and expertise, and then apply it to what's happening in the hotels. And I think it's been a great springboard for my career. From there, I was able to do some work for the Ritz-Carlton, and then I was able to work on some of our select brands, and then I've been able to do some Wi-Fi internet program activities across the Americas portfolio. And so I think all of that has kind of led to this responsibility, and I'm really excited about this because I've got really a much more intimate feel with what is happening on a day-to-day basis within our markets and within our hotels. And so I've gone really from back of house, if you would, from data center out to above property. And now I'm kind of as close to the hotels and the day-to-day that I've ever been. And that gives me a lot of adrenaline and energy.
Yeah. Awesome. That's great. Thanks. Well, cheers. Well, thank you very much for being here. Of course, thanks for being on the corner office. Greatly appreciate your time, Steve. And especially right now, we're filming in the middle between holidays. On one side, we have Christmas. On the other side, of course, we have New Year's. So I greatly appreciate your time. So cheers. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, that's a wrap for season 2, episode 10 of the Corner Office. Special thanks to Steve Marino for being my guest here today. For more information on Steve, I've included his LinkedIn information below. Additionally, for more information on Safety NetAccess, their products and their services, please visit our website at www.safetynetaccess.com. And please don't forget to like, share, comment, and follow our Safety NetAccess YouTube channel. It's greatly appreciated. Until next time, be safe, be healthy, be well, and hey, don't forget to be happy. Cheers, everyone. Different question then for you.
All right.
We, of course, are coming from the Chandelier Bar in the Cosmopolitan. So this is, as you mentioned, one of your favorite bars for us to meet at. Of course, you can see it's empty. COVID's cleared it out. It's not even anybody in the machines. But why'd you pick this place? What's special about this place to you?
Yeah, you and I both travel quite a bit, and so we, for better or for worse, spend a lot of time in bars and restaurants, and so I've seen quite a few, and I just remember that this one really had a lasting effect. I don't know how many years ago it was when we first started doing some autograph collection work for the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, and I was part of the initial team that did a little bit of a deep dive in understanding what it would take to merge systems and the like. And very first time I saw the bar, it was just very memorable. I'd never seen anything like it. And to be honest, I still haven't seen very many bars like it. And it kind of stood the test of time because that had to be at least 4 or 5 years ago. And the style, the decor, and when I mentioned the Chandelier Bar, a lot of people know what I'm talking about. And so we've always had a really good time there. Part of that, I guess, is Vegas, but the other part is it's a really great watering hole. I really enjoy it.
Well, yeah, and the Cosmo was built, what was it, 2009, 2010, roughly around then?
I think that's right.
So yeah, I remember actually I was at another technology company in the industry, and we were selling software into it, working with the guest controls and the folks at, I think it was SDD Jazz at the time, years and years ago. So I just dated both of us a little bit 10 years ago, and we already had so many years.
For sure.
Anyway,